Now at 5:30, rainbow flags flying high around the Bay Area as Pride Month begins. KPIX 5 is proud to celebrate the LGBTQ community by bringing you special stories all month long. Good evening, I'm Andrea Nakano.
And I'm Reed Cowan live in the Castro District, where we are your community station, so proud to kick off Pride Month and all of the stories that are so important to the Bay Area. You know, you're seeing the pride flags fly all across the Bay Area. Of course, this huge one at Harvey Milk Plaza, where it all began, where the pride flag is concerned. But did you know that original still exists and people can see in a local museum that original flag? My friend Ryan Yamamoto got a chance to look at it, and here's that story.
So Andrew, where are we headed right now?
Take a step inside this unassuming museum off 18th and Castro.
So right now we are heading up to see the original rainbow flag.
And you can't help but be drawn to the stunning colors that illuminate the dimly lit main gallery.
What does it mean to you?
I think for me it represents a sense of belonging and a sense of connection.
It is a connection that Andrew Schaefer takes seriously as one of the caretakers of the last remaining remnant of the original rainbow flag.
Yeah, it's quite a responsibility because we want these things to survive not only for the people who are alive today, but the people who will be around 100 years from now or 200 years from now.
44 years ago, during the 1978 San Francisco Gay Freedom Day Parade, the first two rainbow flags proudly flew above the city's UN Plaza. Flags created by gay activist Gilbert Baker and a team of volunteers who stitched the giant panels together.
You were telling me it's tie-dye.
Yeah, this use sort of tie-dye methodology, because that's what, this was 1970s, 1978, very much part of the hippie culture, hippie movement. The tie-dye methodology was what they knew how to do, and so that's kind of what they followed to make this.
And from the photos, you can see they were huge.
It's, I believe, 30 feet tall by 60 feet wide.
Massive.
It is a massive, massive piece of fabric.
So big, the flags couldn't survive the San Francisco wind, so special metal rings were installed to make them sturdy. And by luck, those rings helped the museum authenticate the flag as the real thing.
Luckily for us, 40 years later, one of the guys who worked at that flag company was able to use those same grommets to verify that this was the original artifact.
And the flag that sits inside the GLBT Historical Society Museum is literally only a fraction of the original.
The story that we're able to construct is that the original flag was stored in a sort of leaky attic, and when Gilbert went back to retrieve it, months or probably about a year later, the bulk of the flag had sort of been mildewed and was in severe damage, and so he cut off about a third of it, kept it, and told people for a long time that the original was destroyed, it was gone. Like, the original was destroyed, 2/3 of it was gone. He just forgot to mention that a third of it was still around, and it was stuck away in his closet somewhere.
And from out of the closet, now on display, it has become the centerpiece of the museum, an emotional beacon for visitors and for the caretakers of the rainbow.
You see the flag every day, but do you ever just stop and take a moment?
Before we put the plexiglass on, I asked for a pair of gloves because I didn't want to touch it without gloves, and I just rubbed my fingers on the flag, and it was such a powerful moment to know that this thing that I'm touching has not only been around for almost half a century, but it is the thing that has now become this global symbol. It is now my responsibility to make sure that I'm not the last person who has this experience, that people a generation or 2 or 3 or 4 generations from now can continue to have this experience, to learn their history.
In the Castro District, Ryan Yamamoto, KPIX 5.
Such a beautiful example that you can take painful and difficult things, and with your own creativity, your own gifts and talents, you can turn those into purpose, and in this case, something that's art. You know, Ryan mentioned that there were 2 original pride flags. One was stolen and just disappeared from a community center, so it's out there somewhere. Maybe go to eBay, Craigslist, look for it online. Maybe you can be the one to bring that original pride flag back home to be paired with the first original pride flag. You know, you may notice there's some symbolism, and symbolism really matters at times like this. That symbolism is made in the 8 panels of the rainbow flag. Today there are 6. The reason for that, when they started to really mass produce the rainbow pride flag in the late 70s, it was too difficult to find the color hot pink. Who would have thought? In the late 70s, you couldn't find hot pink color fabric. So Gilbert Baker decided to remove the pink and turquoise to have an even number of stripes. A little fascinating history there.